Kahala Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone rule well. And salutations to the brethren in the four corners of the earth, pushing the word and truth and sincerity. This is Ira from Great Millstone, Wisconsin, coming at you with another lesson. And I just wanted to, say my piece on the subject of, having 100% truth, which which the sentiment is, yes, Great Millstone does have 100% truth, and that's not to say that we know everything in the world, because really this topic is very, very simple. It's not saying that we know everything in the world, but we know 100% of what the Lord has given us, and what the Lord has given us are the secrets that are contained in the scriptures, in the Holy Bible. That's what we have 100% of. We have 100% of everything that the Lord has given us up until now. That's tangible, that we can see, that we can read with our eyes, which are the scriptures. Are you gonna tell an astrophysicist that's read, a text on string theory that he doesn't know 100% of the material? No, you wouldn't. That would make that man an expert in string theory. So when you look at the scriptures and you look at, the men of the Lord having these manuscripts, having these scriptures, and reading these things every day, frontwards to backwards, here a little, there a little, would make us experts in this text. And if you are an expert in something, you know it in its totality, So for example, like the Apostle of Great Millstone, they are experts in the Holy Scriptures, which means they know these scriptures in its totality. So they know these things 100% of what they've been given through the spirit of power, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. This is not a hard concept to grasp, It's only hard because it's us that's saying it. That's really what it comes down to. It's us that's saying it. And if like scriptures talk about the men that wear the gay clothing, they wouldn't be up in arms and angry and trying to overthrow the man that has the gay clothing, that's saying he had 100% truth. I'm pretty sure. If any other Israelite camps today had 100% truth, nobody'd have a problem with it. But because Great Millstone says it, it's the end of the world. It is the end of the world. But let me hop into these scriptures. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 9, it says, "For we know in part, and we prophesy in part." What do we know in part? The Holy Scriptures, man. The truth of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. That part is what the Lord has given us so far. And it says, and we prophesy in part. Meaning the prophecy that we've received, that's what we prophesy. For example, there are things that's happened in the scriptures, that haven't been chronicled. Like, for example, you read the book of Chronicles, and it'll tell you, okay, these things that and more that David did, and these are chronicled in the book of Chronicles. Then when you read Chronicles, it'll tell you, oh, there are more things that he did that aren't written. There are miracles that Yahweh did that weren't even written in the scriptures, that we don't know that he did. But all we know is what the Lord has told us. It says, but when that which is perfect is come, which is the kingdom of heaven, then that which is in part shall be done away. Meaning we'll have the full spectrum. We'll have the full spectrum of everything concerning Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Every miracle that the Lord has done, we will know it. Every battle that has taken place, no matter how small, between Israel and the other nations, we will know it. Down to the smallest detail. But as for right now, what we have, in part, we maintain or we prophesy in part. We only prophesy what we have been given. That's it. That's not saying we know every single thing in the world, but we've known what we can read, what we can see. This is Romans 15:4. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime," meaning before, which are the Holy Scriptures, "were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the Scriptures might have hope." So what these things that were written in this book, thousands of years ago, were written for us to study and learn. And we have studied and learned them. And we know exactly what we've studied, man. That we would have patience and comfort and hope. Hope in what? Hope in this world being refashioned into from wickedness to righteousness, man. The downfall of this place. The prophecies coming to pass. Yahushua coming in the morning. If we didn't understand that, if we didn't know that in its totality, and 100% of what the Lord is telling us, we would never know the signs of this place being and its downfall being manifest. Salakia. We would never know that, and we would never be looking for the signs. So when the Lord said he will guide us in all truth, that's not saying that he would guide us into everything and knowing everything on the planet, because that's impossible for any man on the planet to know everything in the world. That is completely impossible. But the truth that he shall guide us into, well, let me just go ahead and read the scripture. This is John 16:13. It says, "Howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, is come," Yahushua. Matter of fact, let me read this over. It says, "Howbeit when it, the Spirit of truth, is come, it will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak." So that all truth is talking about the truth of the Scriptures, man. It says, "He shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak." Right. What he heard from the Father, he spoke to his disciples, man. And what the disciples spoke, which became apostles, heard from Yahushua, they spoke to the people, man. And that's exactly what we're doing. What we've heard of Yahushua from the Scriptures and from the apostles, we speak to the rest of the people, man, to the hopeful elect of Israel. We don't speak what we haven't heard. It says, "And he will show you things to come." So he will show you things to come. What are the things to come? Prophecy, man. The Charagma. The Valley of Jehoshaphat. The Valley of Decision. World War III. These things are to come. These are prophecies, man. But these are prophecies. These are things that guys reject because they don't understand the gravity of knowing the Scriptures in its entirety. They don't even go into the words Charagma. They don't even go into the word Jehoshaphat. They know nothing of the prophecies because they don't understand that these things have to come to pass in order for us to reach salvation, because they're not looking for salvation. Verse 14, it says, "He shall glorify me, for he shall receive of mine and shall show it unto you." So he will show these things to come in our realities, man. But the thing is that these guys don't understand prophecy. They're not true prophets. Because if they were, they would understand that the Spirit of the Lord is the Spirit of prophecy. Revelation 19:10 says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua." Now let's see what the testimony of Yahushua is. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushua is a spirit of prophecy. And that spirit of prophecy you can only grasp from learning the Scriptures, man. The Holy Scriptures are the only thing on this planet that lets us know what's going to happen before it happens. And knowing that what's going to happen before it happens means that you know 100% of what the Lord told you. If I walk to the grocery store and I'm in the checkout line and the cashier says, "Okay, your total is $59.17, right?" And now, from what you've been told, don't you know 100% of what your total is from what was told to you? Or are you going to let somebody come by and tell you, "Oh, your total ain't $59.17. You don't know what you're talking about. It's $17.59. That doesn't make any sense, man. So now we're coming to a point where now 2 plus 2 equals 4 doesn't make sense. Now we're being told 2 plus 2 equals fish. And that makes absolutely no sense. You know? And this is how we understand that you guys don't understand prophecy. Because you didn't take the time to delve into the book, man. That's why you believe that there's no such thing as 100% truth. Because you don't believe that the word of the Lord is faithful and true. This is Amos chapter 3, verse 7. It says, surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Now, what's a secret? The end of this world. How this world is going to end. It's a secret, man. You know? Now, in that secret, you have individual secrets. Like what's going to befall this place before the end comes. The Charagma, World War III. You know? Civil unrest. These are things that are going to come to pass before the end all be all, man. Which are prophecies. And we know 100% of those prophecies because we study. We have visions. The Lord has sent us visions. We can see these things. That's why the prophets were called seers. We can see what the Lord has told us in the book. But you can't because you can't see past yourselves. And ultimately, you weren't called to be prophets. You know, or some of you have been called, at least weren't chosen. You know, we can tell who are not or aren't chosen a hell of a lot faster than we can tell who are chosen. It says, the lion hath roared, who will not fear? The Lord power hath spoken, who can but prophesy? You know, so that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be prophesying. We're supposed to be speaking the things that we heard from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, just like our forefathers have. That's why when you read Romans 15:4, it tells you that the things were written, whatsoever written aforetime, were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. And we have hope and patience waiting for the prophecies, man. We have hope that the prophecies will see us through to salvation. This is a very simple subject, you know. But if you don't have ears to hear, it's understandable. You know, this is Isaiah chapter 46, verse 9. It says, remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High, and there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done. So, chronicled in this book, you know, in this epic poem of ours called the Holy Bible, the Holy Scriptures, the end has been declared or spoken of from the beginning of time. From the beginning of this book, in the book of Genesis, all the way to the book of Revelations, is full of prophecies of what's to come. You know? And the thing is that you expect the men that are reading this book to not understand or know 100% what these prophecies are? And what are the signs that these prophecies are happening? You're out your mind. You're out of your mind, man. You know? like the brother Gabar Gabar from New York said, you out your rabbit ass mind, man. You know? It says, saying my counsel shall stand and I will do all my pleasure. Now, I got one last scripture just really quick, because if we didn't have 100% truth and we didn't understand where this world is going, from what we've read and what we've heard from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua themselves in these holy scriptures, then we wouldn't be able to measure the time. We wouldn't be able to see what's going on. This is 2nd Ezra 9:1. It says, he answered me and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. You know, meaning you measure the prophecies, because that's time, a chronological order of events, which are the prophecies. And you can only know that chronological order of events or those prophecies by reading and studying the Holy Scriptures, man. So you will know 100% of what's going to happen. It says, and when thou seest part of the signs past, you know, because you've studied and you know what signs to look for, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is it says, Salakia, which I have told thee before. So he's told us these things in these scriptures multiple times. It says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So then shall we understand. And how can you understand something that you've read? By seeing it, because you've already read it. So you understand 100% of what's going on because you've read it. It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, which are happening now, I think Iran just had an earthquake. Not even 24 hours ago. Uproars of people in the world. You have riots and financial woes all over the place. We have international conflict going on in the Ukraine right now. So we're seeing these things. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee. Romans 15:4. Things are written foretime for our learning, even from the beginning. So if he wants us to understand what he told us from the beginning, why wouldn't we have 100% of what he told us? Why would he tell us something with the intention of not wanting us to understand it? That's completely asinine. It says, and that would make the Lord unfair, man. That would make the Lord unfair. And that would make the Lord a liar. So when you say that no one has 100% truth, or 100% truth of the scriptures, that's making the Lord a liar, man. Because the Lord said that the Comforter will guide us into all truth, and that the Lord reveals the secrets to the prophets, that the testimony of the Lord is prophecy. So why would he tell his prophets that something's going to come to pass and expect them not to understand it and not give them the tools to understand it? That doesn't make any sense, man. You guys are lost. It says, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Now let's look up this word manifest really quick. And we can just really get the definition, the Webster's definition. So this is manifest. Adjective, clear or obvious to the eye or mind. Display or show, a quality or feeling by one's acts of appearance. Demonstrate. So the end is manifest. It's being demonstrated. It's obvious to the eye or the mind. Why? Because we've seen these things in the Holy Scriptures, and we're able to identify these things that are happening in the world today, to know that we are closer to the end than ever before. And you can't do that if you don't have 100% understanding of what you've been reading. So yeah, like these guys are saying, man, we don't have 100%. No, they don't have 100% truth. The real men of the Lord have 100% truth of the scriptures that Yahweh Bashim Yahshua has laid out for us. So, and that's all I wanted to say. Lord willing, Akim, this video was edifying in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. So I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Kahalak Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great Milsom and well, and salutations to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word in truth and sincerity and fear and trembling. Shalom.